Hey all you cool cats and kittens. Yeah, no, I hate that. I think I'm just gonna stick to mine. Hello world, my name is Keenan Diabri and welcome back to my channel where we live and breathe art. So if that tickles your pickle, make sure you're subscribed. Also, if you're not already following me on Instagram, be sure to follow me there so you can stay updated on my latest feast and coolest creations. So in today's video, I'm going to tell my story. I'm gonna try not to cry because it might get emotional, but here we go. I was born. Yeah, that's my story. No. So I was born and raised in Dubai. My family is originally Indian. I live in Toronto now. I lived in Scotland for a bit. Growing up, I always knew that I was a little different. I want to say, creatively speaking. There were teachers that have made fun of me for wanting to do art or for being a little creative. I was always told, you know, don't focus on this too much. It's not going to take you anywhere, la 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 la. But it's like, look at me now. And I mean that in the most respectful, not like, I understand that it might have not been coming from that sort of stance. Still, that sort of thing takes a toll on someone, and growing up always being pushed down by other people apart from like my family that always pushed me up, or my support system, or that circle that I made. I was never great with math. I was always more towards the creative side. I never really felt until when I reached maybe high school, I never felt like I was learning anything artistic. I had to always do my own stuff at home. I would be painting at home. I would be, like, we never had school projects. I respect the Western world for giving art the importance that it deserves, especially when, like, in elementary school and stuff like that, which I never had the opportunity to do. When I graduated high school, then art became an option for other kids in the same school now. So I'm really happy that that was some progress, but I never had that option. So when I was in, I want to say the 7th or 8th grade, I started doing extracurricular art with my now mentor, Maria Pete. And I remember she was just the most bubbly personality, and she, like, the work that her students gave were just ridiculously talented, but it was an after-school activity. So I had to go do that. So I did that, and I focused all my energy over there for a couple years, and then my family couldn't afford it for a while, so I sort of pulled back and tried to just do more art on my own. In that journey where I was doing art by myself, I did, however, feel that artists where I was living, which was in Dubai, that artists didn't all have equal opportunity, and a lot of artists like me that just wanted to show their work could never sort of have a platform. So when I was, I think, 15 or 16 years old, I started this charitable organization called ArtX. The main principle behind it was that artists like me, young artists aged 13 to 18, just teenagers, because that's this market that I was in, so that's what I thought I would tap into. We would all come together, we would collect our paintings, donate them, we would host exhibition in malls for charity, for different causes, for different schools, for kids with special needs, and for different causes, and it's just a whole thing. But through doing that, it really opened my eyes to see how many other artists and talented folk there were around me. And I was always inspired by people's energies, and I was always inspired by people just coming together to do something positive. So they would donate their pieces, and in exchange they would receive like a certificate of appreciation, which they could use for things like CAS hours in school. ArtX really helped me grow as a person. ArtX really helped me push my limits. So it was ArtX, which is Art EX for exhibition, and then for charity, so it was ArtX for charity. Those exhibitions really helped me learn and grow and push myself as an artist as well, because there would be sometimes on deadline where like it would be 2 or 3 days before the exhibition and we wouldn't have enough pieces, so I would sit up at night and be working on like 20-30 pieces, and it was absolutely crazy. But some of the best years I had in my life were because of ArtX, and I'm so happy that a lot of the people that supported me through that journey are still there with me today, even though now I'm doing my own thing and I've lived in different places in the world and stuff like that. So after ArtX sort of happened, we raised quite a lot of money for different charities, and it felt amazing. And I just loved the fact that something like art could bring people together. So we were this massive community. There were kids from different schools coming together, and that was ideally when my art following started growing. So people started actually following me on Instagram because of ArtX, and they wanted to sort of see the new pieces that I was coming up with. They wanted, and for me, I never cared about followers. Like at that time, it was just a whatever. It was great to have, but in my heart, I can truly say that it was more about the cause, and it was more about people having fun and coming together and like having this amazing experience while doing something good. So that's how the focus sort of shifted slowly towards me, because the laws changed and raising funds for charity, and there was a whole thing. So slowly I started focusing on my own art. I remember 3 or 4 years ago, I had this idea in my head about creating art for brands, but not being a social media influencer, because I never wanted to do that. I never wanted to consider myself a social media influencer, because at the end of the day, I'm an artist, I'm a painter, I'm a content creator. I don't want to influence people's behavior. But on the flip side, I did have a few opportunities where I could work with multiple brands in Dubai, and we created some really cool art. So that's sort of how my artistic journey has moved on. In school, I felt for the most part, I was bullied for doing art because it was girly, and I just enjoyed myself so much. And this was I didn't play sports in school. I didn't do anything else. All I wanted to do was be the artsy fartsy person, and I was. And looking back at it, I would not change anything. I was made fun of. It was insane. I think if anything, that made me stronger, because the same people that messaged me or that made fun of me to my face sometimes, which was great, back in school are now messaging me and telling me how much they enjoy seeing my work on social media, and they enjoy, like, a few people, funny enough, have actually bought some of my pieces, and I don't know if they know or not, but they were the ones that sort of were pushing me down in school or when I was younger, and now it's like, oh well. It's funny how the world works. I never said anything before, but it really, really did take a toll on me. But I feel like, for the most part, the large support system that I've managed to keep, that has carried me through phases and stages like that, that's what I'm most grateful for, and that's what I'm most thankful for, and that's why I can keep doing what I do, and why I can keep creating awesome content that is fun to make and fun to consume, I guess. That was the school part of it. Oh my god, this is like really sad. I did not expect this. But one thing that I have to say wholeheartedly is I am so happy because of my family. My parents and my extended family has done nothing but support me over the years in immeasurable amounts. They have always had my back, no matter what crazy thing I wanted to do, and I'm just really grateful for them. I always felt misplaced. I felt like I was doing the wrong thing. When I did have to make up my mind about what I wanted to study in university, a really, really big part of me wanted to go and study art. I don't know if I'm happy or not that I didn't end up doing that, but a really big part of me wanted to study art because I felt like that was my calling, that was my passion. It's something that I never got bored of. I would literally be painting like a crazy person until 5, 6 in the morning because I just needed to get something right. So when it came to it, I don't know again if I regret the decision or not, but I did choose to go into a safe degree. I studied business management with marketing in university, and I did that for 3 years, and it was great. I graduated, it was amazing. And then I worked in Dubai for a year doing social media and content creation. But the thing is, while I was working in Dubai, I was using my degree to work, but also doing art gigs on the side with all my artistic skills. I've never been to like formal training, the formal training in terms of like education wise. I did go to Maria's art studio to learn literally 95% of the things that I know. She is an amazing teacher, and she is an even better human being. I love her so much. What I found myself doing for the year that I was working in Dubai was doing 3 days a week at work in the office, working for this publishing company, doing social media content for them. On the flip side, working like 3 or 4 days a week doing art stuff. And it was great while it lasted. I was always busy. But then I sort of wanted to combine my worlds together, and that's what I'm doing now. So I'm currently a student at a school in Toronto. I study interactive media design because I feel like it'll help me bridge the gap between digital artwork and physical artwork. It also helps, it's basically a combination of business management and marketing and like my art stuff. It works as a perfect thing. So that's what I'm doing now. I just finished my first year. I have another year to go, but it's very freeing. I have a lot of time to do art stuff, which is why I'm doing YouTube content, which is why I'm doing TikTok stuff. Follow me there if you're not already following me. But that's where I am today. Now, where I want to be is a whole different story. I have no idea, if I'm being very honest. I just want to have fun with it, and I think for the most part I am having a lot of fun painting. I'm having a lot of fun creating massive, amazing pieces. That was my story. I do implore you, if you are going through a struggle, if you just need someone to talk to as an artist, because God knows I really needed someone and I had a support system, but if you don't have a support system and you want to do art, feel free to message me on Instagram. I read all my DMs, I respond to all of them, and I will be your support system because I had that and I don't know where I would be without it. Thank you so much for watching this video. I know this one was a little more sentimental than the normal ones are, but stay tuned. And if you're not already subscribed, be sure to hit the subscribe button and follow me on Instagram too.
You see, stereophonic sound for the home is recorded on two separate...